Good evening, YouTube. DutyRon checking back in tonight with another late night video. And tonight we're going to talk about the dangers of searching for the missing boys or any missing person in California area or any areas throughout the world. I'm going to just go over some basics here tonight, and I felt a need to go live with this tonight because of a current situation that's going on over in California City, to be exact. Like I said, I usually don't go live this late, but I am concerned, so I'm going to address a few things here tonight. And it's just my opinion as a law enforcement professional. Again, my name is DutyRon, retired New York City Police Detective, 20 plus years in law enforcement. We cover true crime, breaking news, and all things crime related. If you're not subscribed to my channel, there it is right there, DutyRon. Hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. I want to just say a special thank you to my Patreon supporters, my channel members, and all the people who support this community through positive interaction, through leaving messages down in the comments section, being peaceful and civil with each other, because this is what it's all about. We got to come together, crowdsource information, and do it in a respectful and dignified manner. So let me just see who's here in the chat. Hello, Vicky. Hello, Roro. Good to see you. A lot of new people joining in. Joshua is here. Black Rose is here. All my late night owls, Cheryl Curtis, my channel members. You guys are awesome. Awesome. Make sure you share this video, send it on out to your social media platforms, so this way more people will get the message. Now, we're all aware of two little toddlers, 3 and 4 years old, Orin and Orson West, from California City down over by it's a real remote area, kind of like not off the grid, but very, very remote area. It's more than just rural. You got desert and just a lot of rough terrain. So December 21st, these boys were allegedly missing. Thank you, Deb, for the super chat, super sticker. So allegedly have gone missing. A search has been ensued. People are joining together from the community, going out trying to show love and try to find these boys. Where are the boys? They're out there. There's community members. There's people from the surrounding communities, Bakersfield. They're out there, boots on the ground. There's just a lot of people out there volunteering their services. Okay. But what we have to keep in mind here, and this comes from me, someone who has been around the block a few times, so to speak. I put my handcuffs on people who have taken other people's lives. I worked in one of the highest crime, low-income, poverty-stricken neighborhoods in East New York and Brownsville, Brooklyn. In 1991, when I started as a police officer, there was 2,200 murders in the city of New York. And 350 of those 2,200 murders were in my precinct, in my area where I worked. So that was the kind of rough streets that I worked. But that is city environment. This is not a suburban or rural environment. And when you're out in the country and you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's a different game that gets played. It's a different set of rules. And I don't have to preach those rules to the people who live in those areas. They know it. They know it all too well because they're living there, okay? So when you go out and you're trying to shake the tree up, so to speak, you got to be aware of what could be the potential dangers that are around you. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I'm saying this because I truly care about, the people who are out there and are boots on the ground doing God's work, doing the work that the police don't have the resources out there. California City has got, I think, around 13 members of the service. That's a small police department. And that's why they reached out to Bakersfield. That's why they reached out to Kern County, because Kern County has around 1,300. Don't hold me to these numbers, but they're in the thousands. Bakersfield, the same thing. So they're 100 times larger in resources than California City. So they reached out to them. And when small police departments have two missing children and a case that they cannot cover on their own, they reach out to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So the FBI has an unlimited amount of resources. They have to do is make a phone call, and they get resources, and they get other adjoining cities, counties that will join in and give support. So while people are out, boots on the ground, okay, you got to be aware that there's a bad guy or bad people that are outstanding. Something nefarious happened to these kids. Something very bad happened to these kids. Whether it was a kidnapping for the sex slave trade, whether it is an exchange for money for these children, whether it was a murder, whether it was anything else, it's criminal and it's deadly and dangerous. So the people who are responsible for what happened to these two little boys, if in fact something bad happened, and if I had to bet my pension on it, I'd have to say something bad happened to these boys. You better be careful about what you're doing around looking for these people, because murder is not off the plate for these type of people. And listen, I value everyone's lives. Everyone's life matters. All lives matter. And I'll say that loud and clear. At the end of the day, when we bleed, we all bleed the same color. It's red. And we breathe the same air. So we're all in this together. And what I'm saying here is not a preaching, and I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but I'm telling people that I care about you and that you got to be careful when you're out there. You can't shake up the tree and not expect some kind of backlash, because bad people don't like to go to jail. They don't like to get caught. Why do you think these two adoptive parents are being evasive? Because they know what the fuck happened to these kids. And they're probably responsible for it, but we can't prove that yet. Let the investigators do their jobs and let them get the evidence that they need, get that one little piece, and make the arrest, and nobody else gets hurt. That's all I'm saying, This criminal game is not a joke. If these people don't think twice or don't bat an eyelash about two kids disappearing, what do you think they're going to do about other people that try to interfere, and the difference between them being free and going to jail? Law enforcement, police officers, men and women, get killed every year hunting down evil and bad people. I know my partner was shot and killed in 1996. I carry his shield. I showed it last night on my live stream. I carry his shield number. And I was there with his widow and his two children. We dressed them the morning of his funeral because a bad guy didn't want to go back to jail, and he shot and killed my partner. So that's some serious shit. I'm just saying, be careful, no matter who you are out there. AV.WATCHMEN is out there. He's a man, and he knows what the ramifications are and what the possibilities are. I saw Jasmine Noor out there today during the day. And irregardless of what happened with them or whatever happened and what transpired out there, it's just a reminder that these are people who don't want to get caught. You're looking at 2 life sentences for these 2 kids, if in fact that's what happened. So that's all I'm saying. I don't want to make it sound like this is a preaching session. This is more of a session of coming from experience, where I've seen people take other people's lives for $1. I've seen a bump in the corner store, someone bump into somebody in the corner store, and they take a gun out and shoot the person, kill them for $1. So, use your head, Use common sense. Be safe. Be careful. Always have someone to watch your back. Don't turn your head on anybody. Don't poke your nose where you can't handle what's happening. And I'm not saying these people couldn't handle what happened to them today or what was happening or what can happen in the future. I'm not doubting their skills, but I'm saying we have law enforcement that are paid. They swear to take an oath and put their lives on the line. Let them go out and do this work. No civilian should be trying to hunt down a murderer. No civilian should be trying to hunt down a potential murderer or somebody who's done something bad to another human being, no less two little kids. So that's what I'm saying. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm saying this because I care. I love and care for humanity. I spent 20 years risking my life for complete strangers and put my life on the line every day to protect other people who I didn't even know. Thank you so much, Teresa Norton. I'm so sorry for your loss. You're so right. Though it seems like there's some that don't want this to be solved. It seems that way. We're almost a month into this. These cases take time. It takes time to build the case. Nobody wants to hear that because we want it found. We want the kids found, and we want it solved. That's human nature. Sergeant Melinda, great to see you. Hello, Liz. Dawn Marie, thank you for moderating. 12-step woman, great to see you. This is not in any way, shape, or form me scolding somebody or treating somebody like they don't know what they're doing. This is I sat and thought about this for about an hour now. I watched The Wolf of Wall Street tonight. I watched that movie with my wife, and I always get a good laugh out of that movie. But in the course of the movie, I was fielding text messages and taking phone calls, talking to people, and I couldn't go to sleep without getting this off my chest and making a statement. And my statement is for the good and safety of our fellow YouTubers and for fellow community members who decide to go out and lend a hand. Searching and looking for the kids and looking for a recovery is one thing. But when you poke your nose and poke your fingers around in places that are dangerous, there could be some serious outcomes to that. And I don't want to see and have to do a live stream about anybody getting hurt or killed. That's the last thing I want to have to do. Another note, tonight as we speak, 1 year ago today, I covered a horrific murder right here locally in my community. Baby Thomas Valva, who was 8 years old at the time, was murdered by his father, a New York City police transit officer. He's no longer a transit officer because he's in jail and he's waiting trial. And he'll spend the rest of his life in prison along with his girlfriend, the stepmother, who left little baby, autistic baby Thomas Valva in his garage, 19 degrees Fahrenheit. He died of hypothermia. This day, he was alive right now and fighting for his life. And he died early in the morning on the 17th. 1 year ago today. And the father had the nerve to make up a story, just like we see in California, a bullshit story that his son fell in the driveway while waiting for a school bus. And he faked CPR on his own son, dragged this lifeless body in the basement of his home, and made up a rescue of his own flesh and blood. He was performing CPR when the police got there. He knew his son was dead because he left him in the garage overnight and made a laughing joke with his girlfriend that he was freezing to death. And I want to remember baby Thomas. Tomorrow I will go to the services and perhaps go out to the cemetery and pay my respects. I have his mass card in my car. I went with Dookie 4000, my neighbor across the street, to the funeral and saw that little boy dressed in a white a white suit in a coffin. That's no way to see a little kid. And he was autistic to boot. So baby Thomas Valva, he was fighting right now. 1 year ago tonight, he died on the morning of the 17th. It's now 12:57. It's 1 a.m. He was fighting for his life while they were laughing and joking because they had a camera inside that garage. So it's a case I covered a year ago. The father was arrested 10 days later. It took 10 days. Jackie, thank you for the super love. Thank you. It took Suffolk County Police detectives 10 days to figure out the father was lying. And how did they figure it out? Electronic surveillance, text from his cell phone, video from inside the garage. It took 10 days. And now I hope that him and his fiance, the step monster, I hope they rot in jail. And if there was a death penalty, I would inject or pull the lever on the electric chair. And I wouldn't even lose sleep over it. So these are the kind of things that happen all over the United States, all over the world. This happened right in my hometown. The stepmother and the father, who I'm embarrassed to say was a New York City police officer. He was supposed to protect his son and protect people, and he killed his own flesh and blood. It gets me sick to my stomach to think of it. So that was happening 1 year ago today. I probably will have a hard time sleeping tonight, I'll be honest with you. But tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to do what I can to pay respects for Justina. That's his biological mom. She's an immigrant from Poland. And the two surviving boys who went through, Andrew and Anthony, they went through this and survived. And now they're left without their brothers. So I'm sorry I got off on a different note here, but this is something I had to acknowledge because it is something that is very, very, it affects me tremendously in my heart. It breaks my heart. I sent over $700 of super chat that I made on videos that I created about bringing awareness to Thomas Valva's murder to his mother, Justina. And she was very appreciative. I attended the walk, the March for Justice for Thomas, and I live streamed that. It's available in my playlist. I implore you to go check that out. So these are the things that we did for this family, and we continue to support them. Just a terrible, terrible situation. But let me get back to what the topic is here. And the topic is to keep yourself safe while helping to search for these two baby boys, these two angels who didn't deserve to go missing or have what happened to them. And we don't know what happened to them, but we can fill the blanks in of what's gone on almost 30 days later, right? The 21st is next week. How are you, Elder? Good to see you. Hey, if you're new and you just subscribed, let me know where you're watching, your city, state, and country. And I'd love to give you a shout out. Welcome to the DutyRon family. I hope you guys are enjoying the informative live streams that I do bring forward to you. Guys like Sergeant Bill Cannon. I had an aviation pilot on last night. I had Detective Irma, who is a special victim. She worked with crimes against children. I bring these people on not to show off. I bring them on to show you, the viewing audience, and my subscribers, what really good police work is and what goes on behind the scenes. Now, you could sit and bash that Sheriff John Walker all you want, But what good does that do in bringing justice for these boys? Bashing those people who are responsible for bringing justice forward. Now, the FBI, I have to tell you, I would have to think a good 90% that they're going to take the lead on this investigation, because this department in California City is not equipped to handle this investigation. So you have the premier law enforcement agency of the federal government, the FBI, that has unlimited forensics resources, lab techs, DNA specialists, hair and fiber specialists, everything under the sun. And while we spin our wheels and throw hate towards the sheriff and the police and law enforcement, those are the people who are responsible for bringing justice, not civilians. Civilians help with making the phone calls and dropping the tips, but those tips and those leads, they need to go to the feds. You need to put them out to the feds, or give it to the state police, give it to the Bakersfield police. You know, if you can't trust, you gotta put it over to another higher level. And if you have to go to the state or the attorney general, you do it. But as a good civilian and as a good human being, if you have a lead, the proper place to put it is in the lap of law enforcement. Don't put it in the lap of a civilian that doesn't have the authority or the authorization to arrest somebody, or the tools to protect themselves. So this is all I'm saying, guys. I want you to know this is done with love and respect. I care about the people who are out there doing the right thing. Now, sometimes people think the right thing is the wrong thing in action-wise. They don't realize it. They're not doing it on purpose. You know, everyone has good intentions, but sometimes good intentions could screw things up. If you know something, make that phone call. Clear your conscience. Get that lead in to law enforcement so they can follow up on it. We don't need civilians going and trying to crack a drug ring or a child sex trafficking ring. These people are fucking dangerous, man. They will cut your head off and bury you in the sand. I mean, I hate to curse. You guys know I don't like to curse, but that's a fact. These people will sever your head and not even think twice about it. It's a dangerous business. I know I've had death threats from drug people that I've arrested over my career. I've had to take a department radio home and had a police car sitting out in front of my house. It's not fun. So if you don't think that these people are dangerous, they make threats against law enforcement and federal authorities. What do you think they're going to do to Joe Blow or Miss Mary Mack that shows up? What do you think they're going to do to them? So I'm sorry about the rant. You know, my intentions, again, they're in the best interest for humanity, for good human beings who have very good intentions, man. We all have to be careful. And I'm not saying it can't be done carefully, but you got to forward those leads. You got to send them to the people who are upholding the laws and of the land, and the people who are equipped and have, you know, a full arsenal, backup, extra units, tactically sound. You need all of that. You know, I don't want to see someone get killed unnecessarily, and this is a dangerous game that people are playing. This is not a joke. This is not playing in the sandbox, people. You know, the FBI doesn't show up with double search warrants for no reason. They don't search homes and go after and go to a judge and get a search warrant for some bullcrap. So there's things brewing here. We got to just let the long arm of the law reach out and grab that bad guy and bring him into justice, or bad girl or bad people. There's an organization or a group of people behind something. The federal government isn't scared of them. The feds take big rings of people down on a regular basis. And when the feds take a case, they got a 90% close rate. So if the feds get onto something and you give good tips and good information, they're coming at you. You don't want the feds. Just like death and taxes, you can't escape it. The feds don't fuck around. I worked with them. 26 Federal Plaza, look it up. That's in New York City. I've been in that building. 26 Federal Plaza is no joke. Chaos Divers, good to see you, man. Thank you. Thank you for being in here. You guys are doing God's work. Everybody go follow that channel. Unbelievable. Yeah, there's a $100,000 reward, but don't get yourself killed because no price, no amount of money is worth a human life. You can replace things. You can replace your clothing. You can replace a lost watch, but you can't replace your life. Now, what I'm saying here is not anything that's foreign. Everybody knows this. But sometimes we need a little bit of a reminder. Do what you got to do, but do it safe. Don't be reckless, man. Proper tactics saves lives. And let me show you guys this. This is what I put that there for a reason. So we put this on our lockers, in the locker rooms in the NYPD. Every NYPD police officer has one of these on their lockers. Proper tactics saves lives. Cover, isolate, contain. Right? Hope you guys can see that good. If you don't use proper tactics in trying to help, it can mean your life. I don't know how many times. I've said it 100 times already. It's no joke. This is a PSA coming from somebody who has seen loss. My partner killed, shot and killed, many other police officers killed, and many homicides. I've responded to many homicides where it was just an argument, where it was a drug turf thing. You sold drugs in my spot. Now you get killed. I even had someone murdered because they walked through somebody's location, a territory, if you will. So when you're in a remote location where there's no cameras, there's no cell phone coverage, there's no communication, come on, man. I'm sitting here just, my head's exploding. Because it's a perfect storm. It's a perfect opportunity. Don't put yourself, and you have families. Most of these people have families. They have people who care about them and love them. Why would you go in the middle of nowhere where some bad guy or bad girl or bad actors, and you're live streaming it, and you're talking about what you're doing, and that's like putting a target on your back. So that's what I'm saying, man. This stuff still can be done, but you got to do it tactically right. You can't half-ass this. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right. That's all I'm saying. It's fucking dangerous. And every time I see it, I cringe. Because I see what the end result of it is. In other words, most of you have never even seen a dead human body. Well, I've seen them with their heads blown off. I've seen them shot with shotguns. I've seen them severed. I've seen a human body completely dismembered. It's not a pretty sight, man. It's not pretty. It's really bad. And it's not something you ever want to see or have happen to you. So, 85,000 missing persons cases go unsolved every year. But over 600,000 people get reported missing every year. Thank you for becoming a channel member, Trace. 600,000, give or take some. Don't hold me to that number exactly. But on average, 600,000 people get reported missing. 500,000 plus get resolved. In other words, people return home, runaways get found, et cetera, et cetera. But every year, year after year, you could go look it up. You Google Warriors, go check this out. Soldier Girl, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Thank you. Go and look this up. I implore you to look it up. 80 to 85,000 unsolved missing persons cases. How do you think every one of those 85,000 could get put out on national television? How do you think every one of those 85,000 can get coverage in the grand stage like these two boys are getting? It's almost like hitting lottery. And I hate to say it, lottery, Powerball, whatever you want to say. The people that get highlighted are the lucky ones. Suzanne Morphew, these boys, some of the others. But tens of thousands don't get it. I have a stack of messages from people who are missing. DutyRon, can you help me? Can you help me get my mother's case out? Can you help me get my daughter's case? And I say, yeah, I'll try to help. But there's no guarantee, So my point is there's 85,000, give or take, missing persons cases every 365 days that pile up. How do you think those families feel? And nobody's talking about them. There's just not enough resources to do it. If there was a way, I'd like to frickin' do it. If there was a way to set something up where we could put it on but then everybody would just be looking at their TVs and seeing missing person. If they reported and highlighted 85,000 every year, your television is already, the fake news and the news that comes over the news is just doom and gloom. You got COVID-19, you got the presidential crap, you got all this craziness going on with divisiveness. Now you're going to throw missing person cases all night long on the TV. That's what it would be. So it's difficult. It's difficult. What I'm saying is extreme here, but it's the truth. I have extreme admiration. The people who go out and do these searches and that are aggressively looking around and talking to people, they got a brass set of balls, and they're brave, strong people. But with that comes there's danger and sacrifice. So you got to weigh these things out. And that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. If I didn't care about these people, I wouldn't light this live stream up, because this isn't a positive live stream. This is a negative one, but it's negative in a good way, because the message that I'm getting out is important. There has to be a better way, of course, but I'm a one man. I'm talking about it. At least I'm talking about it. There has to be more conversations to how we can do better. So everybody has their own opinions, and I respect them. I respect everyone's opinion. But I want each and every one of you to know that if you're not respectful in voicing your opinion, I don't stand for it. I don't stand for it at all. If I see it, I remove it. Because if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it at all. A conversation is a conversation, and we need to talk about it. But at the end of the day, it's a good thing that we have people that are out there that want to bring attention, that have large social media followings, that are trying to do the right thing. Those are people that are doing good stuff. But when you mix it in with toxic nonsense, like bashing authorities and investigative authorities, it gets you nowhere. And this is my opinion. You can agree with it or you don't have to agree with it. But those are the people who we are relying on to get closure, to bring the arrest. We can't make the arrest. You're not duly sworn to make an arrest. When I became a police officer, I had to raise my hand and swear and attest to uphold the laws of the land. And you get sworn in, and you go to the academy, and you go out there and you uphold the law. Citizens' arrests are dangerous, and I don't recommend it because I've seen many people get killed doing it. So, people ask, why is DutyRon being so serious about this? Well, because I've been watching for a long time. Not just today. There's nothing that particularly happened today. I've been watching for a long time. For over 2 years. People going out and doing crazy stuff. And doing reckless stuff. You know, reckless stuff is what gets people killed. What gets people hurt. Gets people maimed. It gets people paralyzed. It gets people in big trouble. Sometimes you get away with it, but it just takes that one time that you don't. And that's all I'm saying. Get your information, report it. That's what your sworn civil duty is. Your job is not to go out and tackle the bad guy and bring him in. If you want to collect evidence, you want to do that, that's fine. But give it to the people who can use it and make an arrest or follow up on it. You know? I want to say a special thank you to everyone, all my Patreon supporters, my channel members, and everyone who supports this community. I bring you professional law enforcement, retired people who have done the job over a long period of time. I have Sergeant Bill Cannon on board, retired homicide detective with 27 years in the Manhattan North Homicide Squad. I have a whole wealth of others. I've had chiefs, Chief Joe Fox, Chief John Cutter, NYPD chiefs. This is a 40,000 member police department. I've had chiefs come on here and talk about crime. If you want to learn about what it takes to catch a criminal, what it takes to successfully bring someone to justice by a summary arrest and by bringing them through and getting a grand jury indictment, a true bill indictment, and then taking them to trial, then you stick around here and you'll hear it the right way. What it takes, what probable cause is, what reasonable suspicion is. We cover it all. And if you really want to know about it and you want to know the right thing, not someone just telling you a bunch of hogwash that they read on the internet, then this is a good place to be. If you want to hear a story and you want someone to show you a lot of fluff and stuff, then this is not the place. That's for sure. But I welcome and I love and respect everybody who comes here and gets value or is interested in learning about what goes on behind the scenes, learning about the truth. And when there is corruption and there's bad people, for those of you who really know me, you know that I talk about it. I expose it all the time. I had a sergeant, an NYPD female sergeant, that was caught shoplifting last Christmas, and I lit up 3, not 1, 3 live streams about it. Joey Brooklyn, if you're here, you know for a fact that I bring it to the forefront. Because there's always a good side and a bad side to everything, and to everyone, and to everything in life. How are you, Sonny Austin? Good to see you. Keep those funny videos coming. Keep those parodies coming. I love it. Hit that like button. Hi, Gayla. Hello, Candy. I'm going to start calling out some people in the chat right now. Over 1,000 people in the chat. Thank you, Black Rose, Dawn Marie. I'm calling them out as I see them. Brown Sugar, Matty Boy Sully, Sonny Austin. G Money is in the building. Hello, Katie. Love and respect. Joey Bear. I hope he's here. Texas Sweet B. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Thanks for all you do. Matty Boy, Monica, Diane, Ames Beloved, Dookie 4000, Cinnamon Hot, Holy Sweet Mother of Jesus, Linda Cormier from Canada, Retired Sergeant Melinda, Barbara Brown. Wow, these names. Granny is here. Candy Marshall, Mooka 77, Kim, Sam Costa. Thank you from British Columbia, Canada. Wichita, Kansas, checking in. Brown Sugar with a $9.99 super sticker. Thank you for that love. Thank you. So, guys, I hope the people who I'm referring to, and I'm not naming them by names, understand that I'm coming from a good place. I care about them, and I don't want to see them get hurt. Juju Positive, good to see you. Thank you for joining. I'm looking down at my monitor. Wow, this is going fast. Thank you to everyone who subscribes. Brown Sugar, thank you for the super love. I have the chat on slow. I have it in slow mode. There's not more I can do. Sonny Austin comes in with a $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you. Just made an ode to the Bobcat Barry. Funny. I got to check that out. Thank you. I love it. Thank you, Sonny. You're a sweetheart. Thank you. Diane King, thank you for the coffee. I could use a cup right now. Diane King comes in with a super sticker. You guys are awesome. Today is going to be a tough day with the Thomas Valva thing. But let's keep these boys in our thoughts and prayers. These adoptive parents, Trezell and Jacqueline, pieces of human garbage in my eyes. They just are oozing guilt and deception. They're just oozing that they're not living their lives right. I'm looking at his social media. I'm looking at stuff behind the scenes in my own little investigation on the two of them. I'm not going to come on here and play judge and jury, but I'm going to tell you that I'm doing my due diligence. Trust me. If you guys, for those of you who don't know me, you'll get to know me. I do my checking. I do my checks and balances on cases that I cover. And I do have access to more than what you guys would have access to just by going on Google and maybe looking at an Anywho or a Been Verified or any of that stuff. I have a ton more access to stuff. I don't use it because I'm not, that person. I don't just check people out just to check them out. But when I cover a case like this, you can bet your bottom dollar I check out more than what I would normally do. And I have the credentials where I can call the Bakersfield Police Department. I can call the FBI and I can get an agent on the phone. I've done it. Joey Brooklyn, are you here? If Joey Brooklyn is here in the chat, I encourage everyone to subscribe to Joey Brooklyn. Kim, thank you for the super love. Thank you, Kim. Joey Brooklyn knows I've called out a couple of unruly YouTubers and actually Periscope people, and I've had their doors knocked on. So when it needs to happen, when someone's doing something criminal, I could just pick up the phone, and it's professional courtesy. I got to prove who I am. I got to send a copy or a fax of my credentials, but I'm glad to do that. So, anyways, we keep these boys in there. The biological mom. Okay, let's talk quickly about her GoFundMe. I didn't look at it because I didn't care to look at it, but I heard about it and I know it's there. I saw one live streamer actually showing it, like showing the actual GoFundMe. Listen, these are people who really don't have a lot of resources. So whatever her motivation is to make money off of her kids or whatever the case may be, I'm not here to point fingers at her, because does that help find those boys? I feel it's wasted time in my eyes, but to somebody else, that might be value. And if it's value to you to go and rip her apart and say, why is she doing this? And, she's this and she's that, have at it. I don't do that. I would never do that to somebody. But that's just me, my heart breaks for her. She did have her kids ripped away from her for whatever reasons, from bad reasons, for good reasons, for whatever. But at the end of the day, she gave birth to them, and it's got to hurt that she doesn't know where they are. She doesn't know if they're alive or dead. And for the people who think that the adoptive parents, Sharon, thank you for subscribing. Thank you. For the people who think, let me put this to bed quickly. For the people who think that they killed and burned these kids in their fireplace at home, it's not even possible. Because to burn and cremate a human body, it takes 1,400 to 1,800 degrees for 3 to 4 or 5 hours. So that's not even a possibility. Like people saying, did they check the chimney for human remains? You're not burning somebody in a fireplace at home. Thank you for the subscriptions. I see them going up and down on the screen. Make sure you follow me, all one word, DutyRon, on all things social media. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all one word, DutyRon. Another thing, too, those holes in the backyard, the infamous shot in the backyard with the rows of holes dug out. Well, California City is there's growing houses where they're growing marijuana plants. And I think that this house had a history of that in the previous owners. And it might have been what they were doing as well. I don't know. But those holes are what fits the plants in. I mean, come on, guys. That's what they are. Those weren't FBI nice, neat dig outs. That shit was there. Anyways, I think I've done enough here. I think I've covered enough. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. Brown Sugar, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you. Patricia, thank you for subscribing. Guys, let me know in the comments section how you feel about the safety of not just YouTubers. I'm talking about everybody. This is not just pointing the finger at particular people. This is everybody, community people, anyone that wants to lend a helping hand. But if somebody wants to go around, Jasmine Orr, great to see you. Thank you for the super love. Anybody that wants to go around and shake the tree up when you're talking about potential murderers, I don't recommend that. Again, I can't overemphasize the importance of not fucking around with somebody who's suspected of murdering anybody, no less 2 children. It's a dangerous thing to do. And if I said anything other than that, I would be remiss. I would be negligent. I would be wrong if I told you it was okay. Thank you for the other super chat, Sonny. Thank you, Living the Dream, for the $4.99. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. That chat's slow over there. I got a couple of devices that I'm looking at the chats. Thank you, Living a Dream. Appreciate that. So, seriously, folks, I felt I had to do this. Now, if I lost some fans over it, or if people get mad at me that support certain individuals, then so be it. I'll take that. because at least my conscience is clear now that I've said it and I put it out there. You know, I'm not saying it to be mean. TL, thank you for the $5. Thank you for thanking me. Thank you for thanking me. I have a responsibility. You know, my channel is geared towards all things law enforcement. You can impede an investigation by stumbling unbeknownst to you across evidence in a criminal investigation. You could just honestly and innocently stumble across evidence and screw up something. And it would, you wouldn't have been intentional, but it happens. Or somebody comes across something and says, oh, well, I'll just put this over here because I didn't think it was a good spot for this to be in. That's tainting a crime scene. So when Sergeant Bill Cannon came, when Sergeant Bill Cannon came on the set and said, hey, we would whisk private investigators away because we had so much resources. We didn't need extra hands. When you have too many chiefs trying to lead the charge, it gets to be a problem. So in the NYPD, hi Marissa, good to see you. In the NYPD with 40,000 members, you didn't need backfill. You didn't need help. If they needed help, then they would ask for it, So it is what it is. Too many cooks in the kitchen is no good. You get in the way. So that being said, I think I've bored you guys for long enough. Thank you, Nate Wilson. Love your stuff. Nor, when's your next video? Jasmine Nor, everyone loves her. Everyone go subscribe to her. And, everybody that's out there covering this, they're doing a great job. The YouTube content creators that are covering this are trying to do the best that they can with what they have. But let's really be careful. Hold on a second. Let's just be careful and use extreme caution. These are dangerous people that are involved in this. That's a fact. These are dangerous people. And anybody that gets involved in this type of thing, it's a risky thing. So, again, it's said with love and respect to everybody that's involved in it. Nobody wants to see somebody get hurt. Good Grammar says, thanks, DutyRon. I don't think people have seen things police have. Until this summer, believe me, I run away from evil. God bless you message. Jasmine Nora, thank you so much for that super love. Thank you, good grandma. Yeah, again, when I was a rookie cop, I was shocked at the things that I saw. And prior to that, I was 26 years old. So up until 26, I used to do stupid shit all the time. I would poke my nose into places that it didn't belong. And that was the dangerous proposition. But once I started seeing people dying, and like I said, 2,200 murders in my first year, my rookie year as a cop in 1991, there was 2,200 homicides in New York City. And 350 of them were in my precinct. So I got to see up close and personal what a murder looks like. And it's not fun. It's gory. It's nasty. It's violent. It's all of the above. So, Chaos Diver says, I'm a former correctional officer, and I know what these crazies are capable of, and it's nothing to mess with. Absolutely. So I know some of you have stories, and some of you have seen what goes on. But most of us haven't, and some of us know the street and know what the hustle is and feel like, well, maybe I can just get away with a little bit extra. But I've seen some of the toughest, baddest gang members that know the street, die really bad, you know, and they wait and they wait and they wait for their opportunity, and then they strike. So go follow Chaos Divers, follow Jasmine Noor, follow United We Stand. He's out there doing God's work. I wish everybody that's involved in this safety, that's boots on the ground. I really want people to be safe. And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying do it, but do it with safety, you know. I've had the pleasure of speaking to AV on the phone quite a bit, and I've had many candid conversations with him. And he's known that I've said this to him many times. Be safe, be careful, you know, watch yourself, brother. I called him today. I called him, and I texted him, and I said, I want Jasmine Noor's phone number. I want to talk to her, because I really did. And I knew I couldn't get a hold of her any other way, so I told him to give her my number. But I couldn't wait. I couldn't let this go, and I had to come on here because, you know, I felt it was necessary to do it. So I'm glad I did it. And I'm gonna sleep better tonight, knowing that I got this message out there, and I hope that people listen to me and take this constructive criticism with a grain of salt and understand that it's real, and this is a very, very real danger that's out there. These are people who are capable of taking another human being's life. And when I put handcuffs on murderers, some of the things that they say is shocking. Some of the things are how nonchalant they refer to their crimes is shocking in itself. And some of the things that have been said to me is, well, this person let me do this, or this person was weak, or this person wasn't paying attention, was looking away, was looking down. I saw an opportunity. I took it. It's frightening to hear that coming out of a murderer's mouth. But these are the things that they say. I felt this such and such was weak. So everyone's perception is different. Everyone perceives threats and assessments differently. I take them very serious because of the profession I was in. And the profession I was in saw a high amount of crime and a high amount of death. So, if you're going to listen to somebody, listen to me. You know, someone that perhaps had a police career or had a career that didn't see a lot of action, may not say the same words that I'm saying, may not deliver the same message. But I mean, I've seen quite a bit. I didn't have this cushy little career where I was sitting and bored, drinking coffee and eating donuts. Don't get me wrong, I like coffee and donuts. Any good cop does. But I didn't have a career where it was boring. It was, we were all over the place. I was answering 50 to 100 calls a night while I was on patrol. So the FBI is involved. Yes. The answer to that is yes. New from Lancaster, California. Good to see you, Rita Morales. Thank you for joining. All right. So I'm going to pay attention to the chat for a minute. I'll take a couple of questions. Super chat is easier with the questions because they come up and highlight, even if it's, you know, whatever. If you can't do the super chat, I'll try to pick out the questions, but it's easier that way. I'll just do a couple of minutes of it. The FBI is confirmed involved in this investigation. They are definitely giving their resources, crime labs, analysis, things of that nature, computer forensics. And if I was the criminal who was involved in this if I was the criminal that was involved in this nefarious activity, in the missing, and was responsible for the missing children, I would be worried. You should be worried, because whoever did this, you're going to be brought to justice, and you're going to be locked up, and you're going to never see the light of day. So whoever did this to these boys, we're coming for you. The feds are coming for you, and you're going to get locked up. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be a month from now. It may not be anytime soon, or maybe soon. But we're coming for you, and you're going to get locked up. Natasha, thank you for the super love. Appreciate that. That's a guarantee. Too much evidence, too much sloppiness, too much nonsense. I see it. Too much stupidity in this. They're gonna lock these people up. Whoever's responsible. Thank you for the super chats. Sonny says, have a great night. Love and respect right back to you. Thank you, Sonny. You're awesome. Living the Dream says, do you remember Charlie L? Hold on. Oh, I gotta get that back. How do I get that back? Oh, okay, there we go. I just stopped the chat. Do you remember Charlie L from Suffolk County, NYPD? Thank you for you. Do you remember Charlie L? I'm not sure who you're referencing from Suffolk County, NYPD. Thank you. How do you look into missing persons that no one is looking for? How do you look into missing persons that no one is looking for? Well, there's a missing person registry. There's the NAMUS. You can go on to NAMUS, NAMUS. Don't kill me if I got that wrong, but you could go to NAMUS and it lists. You could just put all the, you could put all the information of the missing in there. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I did. Moonlight View. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for the super love. So let's see, what else? Brothers Underwater Recovery. If you're wanting to get help with the police officers involved, don't just go rushing in. Be safe and be smart. Very good words right there. I agree. Why didn't they put out an Amber Alert? Amber Alert is activated when you know for a fact someone took somebody and you know who they're with. You have a license plate of a car and you know that they've been abducted. Amber Alerts have certain criteria. This didn't fall under that criteria. Where can someone send information if they can't trust anyone, including the cops? It's unfortunate that you don't trust the cops. I'm here to tell you, send it to the FBI. Send it to the FBI. Verbal constipation, good to see you. Where is your friend in verbal diarrhea? Patricia Beckman, $20 super chat. Way to go at DutyRon. Thank you for your generosity, Patricia Beckman. Thank you. Thank you for that. Stopping by to say hello. Leave it a Bieber. Thank you. Thank you for stopping in. I think I'm going to wrap it up now because I'm done with everything that I had to do. I was going to show a clip from Thomas Valva, but I'm going to save that for my live stream tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I'm going to have I don't want to give it away. I'm going to have an intuitive guest. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk. Well, it's already tomorrow, but Sunday night around 9 p.m. Eastern, I will have Sergeant Bill Cannon on. Sergeant Bill Cannon will be joining me, retired homicide detective sergeant, and I'm going to have an intuitive young lady to chime in about the intuitive world and how they, view this case. And I hope that you guys will enjoy it. It's going to be a little bit lighter and less police related. We're going to let our guest kind of guide you through the intuitive side of this. I don't know. This might not be for everybody, but I think it's important that we hear from all sides. Be truthful. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, DutyRon. I want to hear about the intuitive world. I relate. A lot of people do relate. A lot of people are intuitive. A lot of people are. I want you guys to go and follow my good friend Joey Brooklyn. If someone could put his channel in the chat. Linda, you're funny. I have to read that because she loves me and I love her. Linda says, monitors really helped you out tonight, DutyRon. They got some shitty people out of the chat. I love you. Linda, you are adorable. Let me read that again. Linda Cormier says, monitors really helped you out tonight, DutyRon. They got some really people out of the chat for you. I love you. You're adorable. She's from Canada. She's one of my biggest fans, Linda. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. God bless you as well. All right, so Joey Brooklyn, go and follow him. Follow Police Off the Cuff. That's Sergeant Bill Cannon's channel, Police Off the Cuff. Another great YouTuber. He did a tremendous video today of a hostage negotiator. He had a hostage negotiator that told some great stories today from the NYPD. Jaden, thank you for the hearts and the prayers. Guys, let's take a moment to put some blue hearts and prayer emojis in the chat for our two missing boys, Orin West and Orson West. Let's put some prayer emojis for the families affected, the community affected, all of the law enforcement affected, the community and the searchers, our YouTube partners and our YouTube friends who are out there. Hearts and prayer emojis. Prayers for baby Thomas Valva, who at this time last year was fighting for his life. He was in the process of being murdered by his own father, Thomas Valva, at this very moment. And they were watching him and laughing. So these thank you for lighting up my chat with hearts and prayer emojis and love. Little baby Thomas Valva. Look for a quick live stream. It won't be more than 30 minutes from me tomorrow in memory of Thomas Valva. I will show some clips of what happened to this poor, precious little boy, autistic. His own flesh and blood, his father killed him. And I hope he fucking rots in jail and has not one good day. Him and his piece of shit stepmom, fiance, whatever you want to call her, step monster. I hope they rot in jail and have the worst time of their lives. They don't deserve to breathe. All right, guys, I'm going to wish you a lot of love and respect from my house to yours. As I always like to end these things from a retired NYPD detective. Again, follow me on social media right there, all one word, DutyRon, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Hit me up in the DMs. Go to my website, DutyRon.com, where you can get all things DutyRon, domestic violence, computer crimes, crimes against the elderly, all. My website is a chock full of information, and thanks to Joshua H. for putting that together. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. God bless each and every one of us here in this chat, all 1,000 of us. And God bless all victims of crime throughout America and throughout the world. I want to wish you guys a lot of love from New York City. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening.